What's up guys, Sheldon back with another video, and today we are answering some of your questions. This is actually the third time I've made this video because I messed up the first two times. So hopefully this will go right, otherwise you'll be hearing me say this is the fourth time. Okay, let's just go in order of the questions asked. There's a lot more questions than I was expecting. And I didn't want to spend all my time like typing it out into the comments on YouTube, so I figured I'd make a video for it. So let me see here. Ebb and Wrong says, finally we get to see your beautiful face. Thank you, I guess. I actually showed my face in another video. I did it for the Kusiri Iri medicine seller statue. It wasn't like a super popular review, so I kind of figured nobody watched that one. So yeah, I'm glad I could finally show you what it looked like though. Shinny Chick 39 says, I would love to see you do a vlog video of all your figs you have displayed. And I would love to do one to show you all. It's weird, I don't have my setup right now, and this is going to be like a very weird thing to say, but I'm very shy about showing details about myself, which is strange considering that I'm doing a video about answering questions for you guys about me. But yeah, one, they're not displayed. Two, my figures are kind of scattered throughout the room, so we're not there yet. I'm not ready to show you my room. But what I can do is take pictures of the display cases and then post them, which leads me actually to something I wanted to mention before. I don't have a Facebook and I don't really have a website, so I figured the main way, the main way I'm going to communicate with you guys might be through Twitter and the YouTube comments, of course. So yeah, if you're interested in that, you can kind of follow me on Twitter. The link to my Twitter should be in the description. I'm not super active right now, but I think once it becomes the main mode of communication with you, I'll be posting more. So like I'll post pictures of my collection, I suppose, there. And I'll also post like updates as well, updates for pre-orders and things like that, because I figured I don't have to make a whole video for an update. I could just like tweet really quickly, right? Cool. So yeah, maybe I'll post my collection in a picture in the future. Let me see here. King of Root Beer asks, what do you think of Mandarake? I think I answered this in the comments below, and there's a pretty good thread under that comment. But yeah, Mandarake is pretty good, it's pretty reliable. Leo Verde says, new husbando. Thank you, I guess. But if I'm assuming if I'm your new husbando, who was your old one? So I'd like to know. That. So is it Zigidov? I don't know how to pronounce that, but the picture icon is of Weather Report. And Zigidov says, you look so young. You looked much older in my head for some reason. Can't wait for more content. Thank you, Zigidov. So thanks that I look young. I'm probably still a bit older than what you would think though, maybe. So yeah, I might look young, but I'm probably a little bit older. Cool. And then David Marrero asks, when did you start collecting? You know, I was gonna say not that long ago, but I would say back in end of 2011, beginning of 2012. So, like, yeah, like over 4 years now. Which is my collection, which is why my collection, I think, it's pretty large, right? And so that's kind of what happens, though. You've been collecting for a decent amount of time, it just naturally gets larger and larger. But yeah, I'd say about 4 years or so. What got you collecting? Actually, somebody else's Super Action Statue review, and it was in Italian or Spanish. So I do apologize, I can't tell the difference because I'm a moron. But it didn't sound like Spanish, which is why I'm saying it's Italian. But it was of, yeah, Crazy Diamond. And even though I didn't understand what that person was saying, like I just kind of watched this person handle the figure and I was like, oh my god, it's so cool, it's so beautiful. And that's actually what got me started. Will you be reviewing figures that aren't Japanese imports, like Marvel Legends, DC figures, and NECAs? Yeah, sure, I'm not completely opposed to it. I haven't been doing any other reviews. I haven't been doing non-Jojo reviews, mostly because I figured most people who come to this channel come for Jojo, which is why that's what I stick to. But yeah, I'm not opposed to other things. I don't collect that many other figures though. Like I do collect some NECA, but only selectively and only the video game figures. And I don't collect Marvel Legends. Like I have one Ant-Man like Build-A-Figure, but I mostly collect imports because the quality tends to be better, and I'm willing to pay a bit more because I work, so it's not a big deal. And then I do have a lot of like Four Horsemen figures, which are like medieval knights and stuff. So if people are into that, I'd be glad to review some other stuff. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Howard Song says, great icon by the way, looks like it's a Gurren Lagann, but if you like Berserk, definitely grab the new figures. I agree. Because I've been trying to get some Berserk figures, but they're insanely overpriced. Absolutely. The cheapest Guts figure I remember seeing was for at least 130. Yeah. Berserk figures, they sell out quick and then they're hard to find. So if you're a fan, I would not hesitate. You might be able to wait on Femto and the God Hands because those characters themselves are not super popular, but I don't know. And actually, because Femto is more expensive, maybe fewer people are going to buy them. So maybe. But if like Guts or anything like that ever gets re-released, buy it right away. Like I remember when Golden Age Arc Guts came out, and I was like, I like him. I would prefer Black Swordsman Guts, and they never released Black Swordsman Guts. Golden Age Guts sold out, and Griffith sold out, and Casca sold out, and yeah, now I can't get them aside from paying too much, so yeah, get them right away. Cool. Theo B asks, have I ever tried Playmoya or Plamoya? I have not, so I can't really comment about that site. It's a familiar sounding site, so I feel like it should be reliable. In terms of like pricing, I'm not sure. There's a lot of sites that are reliable basically. It's a matter of like which one gives you the best deals. I don't know about Plamoya. TM Peanut says you should really review Wonderfest Joseph. Yeah, sure, absolutely. I didn't know people really wanted to see it because it's just the same figure as original Joseph. So yeah, sure, if you want to, I'll do that. Toddy Nyoho Pika? I don't know if you... Okay, Toddy Nyoho Pika says, thanks for the tips. I've been looking all over for Purple Haze, and I checked Yahoo Japan and found it. Thanks, I'm glad you did. I'm glad I could help. Pizza Joe asks, what was your first interaction with the Jojo series? I would say the first interaction, well, like I've heard of it before, but the first time I actually ever got into it was like back in college, and that's gonna make me sound old. Back in college, but basically I had friends. Well, I was in the anime club, secretary by the way. But I was my friends were a fan of JoJo, and they had been fans like since high school. They read the manga during high school, and so I was like more into the very basic stuff like Naruto. I grew up watching Saint Seiya, and then my favorite animes were actually like Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. So I was like into more of the serious stuff, and I took myself kind of serious, which is odd to say because looking back at Saint Seiya, it's like not that serious. I don't know, but JoJo does have a special place in my heart because like I read it. I was like, okay, it's kind of weird. Phantom Blood is kind of strange. Battle Tendency was a little fabulous. I'm like, okay, like it's kind of homoerotic, but it's like a lot of fun. And then Stardust Crusaders is more serious, but I really like the concept of stands. And then Part 4, I didn't like the first time I read it. I really didn't like it. Because I didn't like the way Josuke was drawn. And then I read the Dwang subs. So it was kind of but like as I got near the end, I liked it more because the art style changed, and I really liked Crazy Diamond's power. And of course I got to Part 5, Bento Areo, everyone was fabulous again, so I was like super into Part 5. Thought Part 6 was okay, and then I really, really liked Part 7 because I liked the new art style. And I really liked Gyro, who doesn't? But yeah, that's kind of my interaction with JoJo, and then I would go back and read it, and then like upon my second reading, I really liked Diamond is Unbreakable, mostly after I got less like to get like the does a fly. yeah, I did take myself so seriously, and I kind of learned to love the kind of how absurd it is. Uh, yeah, but when I got into Jojo, Steel Bar 1 was not finished. That'll give you a hint as to like how old I am, maybe. But it was near the end. It was near the end. Cool. So there. Thanks for that question. Commander Javik asks, and it's kind of random, but is the icon artwork from Witness the Absurd? It looks like a familiar style. Okay, let me see. Commander Javik asks, what do you think about the other Super Action Statue series? Parasite, Tokyo Ghoul, Drifters, Bao, Ruby. I imagine, being that Bao is also an Iraqi creation, that you'd at least be interested in that. And you'd be right. And I go back to the original thing about not having space, though, so I've got to be a bit more selective. So I do like Bao. Well, I've never read Bao, but I do like him on the virtue that he's an Iraqi creation. Whether or not I'm going to get him, maybe. It depends on if I have space for him. As for what I think about the other Super Action Statue lines, I think they're pretty good from what I've seen. The Parasite one looks good, even though the character itself, in my opinion, isn't super exciting. The Tokyo Ghoul stuff looks really cool. Well, I don't know. I don't read Tokyo Ghoul, but it's a character that has like an X on his forehead and like a stitches. And that one looks really cool. I was thinking about buying that one. That one looked pretty awesome. But again, no space. And I didn't know that they're making Ruby figures either. But yeah, the Super Action Statue overall, pretty cool. Cool, thanks to that one, Commander Javik. Okay, and I got Altanoka Star, or just Altanoka, asks, do you think you could do a video just showing off these secondary versions of some figures? There are figures I can't find any videos of, like Winter Festival Joseph and Jonathan, and it'd be nice to see just what they look like in HD video. Sure, I didn't really know people wanted that, so this is the second time I've been asked about Winter Festival Joseph, so yeah, of course. I'd be glad to review them, so yeah, I'll kind of think about that and review those secondary colors. Okay, let's see, and David Marrero with some more helpful feedback as to how I can improve my stuff. So you got some really great advice here, David. This is kind of strange to say, but a big part of me not improving the quality of my videos is like laziness. That's the short answer. That's what it is. I can't lie. So I do have all the equipment to do everything you say. I have done video like production and editing stuff. So I do have the camera, the mic, and the editing software. The problem is that it would take more work, which itself is not a bad thing. It's just like I have a good camera, but I don't have the correct lens for it. And then I do have the mic, which is not a problem, but if I have a mic, I would have to like use better editing software than I do right now, which would allow me to do overlay stuff. But the problem is I have the good software on my laptop, which is extremely slow. So it's strange. This is a hobby, and I do like making stuff for you. But I would say, on average, one video takes over an hour. Most of the time is actually spent on those pictures at the very end. It's only about like 7 to 9 poses, but it takes me like an hour to do those, and that's kind of the part of the videos that kind of make it hard for me to make videos. Because it takes me like an hour of like hunching over, finding the correct angle and poses, and then the reviews itself, it's actually fairly easy. I just hit record, I'm able to kind of run through the stuff with you guys, and I can do that with one go. If I were to add in all this extra stuff, I feel like the burden of me setting it all up and then like having to edit might stop me from putting out videos as often as I would. So yeah, I'm lazy. And part of it might be because like this is a hobby and I do enjoy putting effort into it. But it's mostly a matter of like, okay, I'm reviewing stuff, you know, how good does the production need to be? I'm not like making like a movie, right? So like production values in terms of reviews, while it is helpful, enhances like a bit, right? If people feel very strongly about me improving my quality, I will take into consideration and up the quality. The only flip side is that it might make me put out videos less often. So again, thanks for all this advice though, David. I really do appreciate it. Yeah, let me guys know what you think though. Cool. Jack Luke says, I remember subscribing when you had 120 subscribers. You've come a long way, man. Props. Thank you so much, actually. And I remember your comments early on in the video, so I do really appreciate you guys for sticking around that long. Okay, Manisha-chan says, great video, thanks. No, thank you. What are you thanking me for? Thank you guys for watching my videos, and I hope you guys enjoy my content. Evan, how do you get the yen? So Evan asks, do you get the yen? Sorry if I sound dumb. I've never purchased anything outside of Amazon or eBay or what have you. It's not a dumb question at all. So for yen, I use a Google converter. I just go like JPY to USD. That's what I do. I've done it so many times that I just happen to remember roughly how much it is, but $1, it's about 100 yen, roughly, right? So if something costs 3,000 yen, I know it's about 30 bucks, roughly. Okay, but you could use a converter. Okay, Mr. Jansen asks, have you ever used Suruguya? I have not. So it's a great place to find awesome deals on rare CDs and stuff, and they sell basically everything, including Jojo figures. They'll have to pay a middleman fee, but they generally have a lot of stock at any given time. I did not know that. Thanks a lot. Maybe I'll take a look at that next time I'm looking for something rare. And then Charlotte Boyd says, AmiAmi does pre-owned figures. They absolutely do. I forget to mention that every single time. I found an unopened Killer Queen on there a few days ago. Kind of expensive, but I got a new car for cars for 3,000 yen, which is about 30 bucks. Pretty good deal, actually. And then Okuyasu was there, but he's gone now, and this Winter Festival for about 8,000, which is about 80 bucks. Love your videos. You've helped me decide quite a few figurines. Tempted me to buy ones I wasn't planning on. I'm glad I could help, and I apologize for making you spend more than you're planning to. Yeah, but yeah, AmiAmi does do pre-owned stuff, and I always forget. I always just click Super Action Statue on the sidebar. Pre-owned figure doesn't show up that way. If you type it in, they will. That's actually where I got my Rohan. So yeah, if you want to do pre-owned stuff, AmiAmi's actually not that bad. Cool, yeah, thanks for reminding me, Charlotte. Saitama asks, will you review Part 5 Polnareff and Silver Chariot? And I think you skipped Awakened Dio. I actually don't own Wheelchair Polnareff, nor do I own Wheelchair Silver Chariot, which is why I haven't reviewed them. And I skipped Awakened Dio because I don't own them. So like I mentioned before, low on space, kind of have to be selective about the figures I like. I do like Wheelchair Polnareff. I don't like the second, like Silver Chariot that much, mostly because you have to use a display stand. But Polnareff in a wheelchair is hella funny, so I might pick him up eventually. Awakened Dio, to be honest, Dio himself, is an okay character, and Awakened Dio is not super exciting. Which is why I don't have them. I might get them eventually, but yeah, sorry, I don't own them. And then Civilized Deathclaw asks to review Wheelchair Polnareff and Awakened Dio also. Okay, well, I guess I have 2 requests for it. I'll think about it. And he says, love your vids and hair. Thank you. Thank you. Kufaman says, or asks, is that Rohan Kishibe pre-order really at 19%? Yeah, it really is. AmiAmi tends to have some pretty good prices. Where the price comes back might be shipping. Okay, and how do I know if they're shipped to my island? Man, how do I even pay? AmiAmi says that they accept PayPal, but only yen. I have so many doubts. Don't sweat it, Koof Man. Even if it's only in yen, the currency will convert, so payment shouldn't be an issue. As for whether or not they ship to your island, I don't know, because I don't know where you live, fortunately, right? Because I'm not the NSA. I guess they do international shipping, so I feel like they would to most places. If you live in the US, you should be fine. If you live in another country, they might. I would say go to the FAQs and look at the shipping information, and hopefully you can find it there. In terms of whether or not you can pay with your currency, I think you should be okay. Call Up says, I've always wanted to buy from AmiAmi. Thanks for the advice. I just pre-ordered Mini Killer Queen and Kira. Cool, I'm glad I could be helpful. Very briefly though, the Mini Killer Queen and Kira, I think he's referring to like those little tiny ones, like Nendoroids. I don't really plan on reviewing those though, because I'm not super into those Nendos. From what I've seen, they're like Nendoroids, so I would recommend you watch reviews for Nendos to give you an impression of what to expect. And finally, Kenny Hollick says, or asks, did you ever get Koichi and the Echo figures? I have to say sorry and say no. To be honest, I'm not super into Koichi. I do like Echoes, but I don't know. Like, I've seen the reviews for Koichi, and he has like almost no articulation. So one, not super into the character. Two, the figure itself is not super articulated. It's a pretty good representation of who the character is, because he's short. And it actually does come with a pretty decent amount, but the fact that like I can't pose him all that much really makes me not want him all that much. So if I can find a really good deal on him, for sure. But yeah, the fact that I don't really like the character, the fact that like the figure I find in terms of articulation is limited, and the fact that I have like almost no space makes me not hunt after Koichi that strongly. So I do apologize. Okay, well that pretty much does it for this review. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, let's keep this going if you want. If you have any more questions for me, feel free to, drop them in the comments, and then maybe I'll do another one of these if there are enough questions, or I'll answer them in the comments. But yeah, if you are down for more reviews and things like that, hit that subscribe, hit that like, and yeah, follow me on Twitter, and I'll try to keep updated with you guys, and keep updated and interact with you guys there. Alright, cool guys, thanks for watching.